this next artist is the first country music star I ever met years ago, and he's part of the reason I fell in love with country music.
Oh, I don't blame you a bit. I understand that. Cowboy Songs 3, Rhymes and Renegades, is his latest album. As a matter of fact, the Cowboy albums are doing great guns. How'd you like that?
Great guns.
Great guns. Hey, all across the country. He's going to do the Ballad of Billy the Kid. Here is Martin Murphey.
I'll sing you a true song of Billy the Kid. I'll sing you the desperate deeds that he did. Way out in New Mexico, long years ago, when a man's only protection was a big 44. When Billy the Kid was a very young lad, in old Silver City, he went to the bath. Way out in the west, with a gun in his hand, at the age of 12 years, he killed his first man. Fair Mexican maidens play guitars and sing all about Billy, their boy bandit king. But ere his manhood had come to an end, he notches on his pistol for 21 men. It was on the same morning that young Billy died. He said to his friends, "Boys, I ain't satisfied. There's 21 men I have put bullets through. Sheriff Pat Garrett is gonna make 22. Now in this way, Billy the Kid met his fate. The moon, it was high, and the hour was late. Shot down by Pat Garrett, who once was his friend. In this way, Billy the Kid met his end. Now there's many a young man with a face fine and fair, who starts out his life with a chance to be square. But just like Billy, he wanders astray and loses his life in the very same way. I'll sing you a true song of Billy the Kid. I'll sing you the desperate deeds that he did. Way out in New Mexico, long years ago, when a man's only protection was a Colt 44.
A true cowboy gesture there, my man.
You know how they all acted. This is the coolest thing, this Cowboy series.
Yeah, the cowboys, they meet the lovely young lady, they kiss her hand, and a couple old hombres like us meet, just like, "Howdy, partner, where you been?" One of those type things. Hey, enjoying these songs, especially like Billy the Kid, I guess you had to do some research on these guys. What'd you find out about them? Anything interesting? Or?
Well, Billy the Kid was in fact a kid. He was about 11 years old when he got into his first real conflagration. He came from New York. who is actually from around the Bronx area. His mother was Irish, and when he lost his dad, they went down to get some work in Silver City, New Mexico. He was sort of orphaned when his mother really got very, very poor, and so he went to work as a cowboy. He got caught up in what they called the Lincoln County War. And was he an outlaw? Was he not an outlaw? Well, that's up for grabs because Billy the Kid, as a matter of fact, was very loyal to the ranch where he worked, and they were against a bunch of crooked politicians up in Santa Fe. The Young Guns films, 1 and 2,
right,
actually, unlike a lot of Hollywood westerns, did a good job of bringing out the history of all this. Yes, I do. And Billy the Kid was, in fact, quite a charming fellow. The only existing picture of him shows him to be sort of a sloppy-looking guy, but a couple of new pictures have come out just recently. He was an absolutely charming fellow, loved music, loved to dance. As a matter of fact, my fiddle player's cousin, distant, his relatives were a member of Billy the Kid's gang, and they were fiddlers. The Code Brothers.
Guys, it's amazing what you have found out. So you researched, I guess, a lot of the outlaws and the bad guys and put it all in song for this particular album.
Well, during the Victorian era, and also today, there's a new fascination with westerns, as you know. During that period of time, years ago, their only entertainment was to sing about the fantastic things, the dramatic things that happened.
Sure.
So as a result, cowboys and everybody else all sang these songs. But very few cowboys actually carried guns. Many of the outlaws were cowboys, but very few cowboys are outlaws.
How did Billy the Kid meet his demise? Whatever happened to Billy the Kid?
Well,
I don't think I ever heard.
There is a place today in Fort Sumner, New Mexico, where Billy the Kid's buried. And the story is that Sheriff Pat Garrett, who was a friend of his, was once a bartender in the Beaver Saloon in Fort Sumner. And he became the sheriff of the county. Unfortunately, it became his job then to hunt the kid down. He went to Fort Sumner on a dark night. Billy had gone out of the house to get something out of the meat house. They used to keep the meat separate from the house, hanging out in sort of a smokehouse. He went to cut himself a piece off of it, came back in the night. He was barefooted at the time, and apparently he said, Ken S, because he heard noises in the room. It was Pat Garrett. And that was the end of Billy the Kid.
That was it.
He was then buried right there in Fort Sumner, and it's a very mysterious place. If you ever get a chance, it's right off of I-25 in there, and you go down just a little bit south, off of I-40 in New Mexico. You go down to Fort Sumner and you see the kid's grave. It's kind of a lonely place, and as a Westerner, it definitely gives you those chill bumps.
Oh, yeah. Wow, you really ought to teach. You know so much. I mean, Professor Murphey. What do you think? Think you would?
I actually prefer to teach this way and get it out this way because I think, I played for a bunch of kids at St. George's School in Memphis this morning, first through 6th grade. And these kids are fascinated by the West and by cowboys. And to get a chance to go in and teach that way and then get around to other schools around the country is more fun.
You know, one thing that we did a story on a while back on Crooked Chase was the dilemma of riding a horse and singing at the same time. Now, in the movies, that made it look good, but when you think about it, when you're riding a horse, now listen, I want you to listen to him. He's riding a horse and singing. Now watch this. This is Michael Montgomery.